Good morning, students. So in the last video I've discussed with you about the Indo-Islamic culture, the social cultural life, and the studies on society. So today let us discuss about architecture. So what is architecture? Architecture is an art of designing or an art of designing a building or any construction. So the Turks brought with them Arabic and Persian architectural styles. The classical style of Hindu architecture appealed to them, and the two styles were blended harmoniously to make a distinctive Indo-Islamic style. So when the Turks came to India, they brought together with them Arabic and Persian architectural styles and culture. Now, the classical style of the Hindu architecture had pleased the Turkish rulers, and therefore they blended together the Hindu architecture, the Arabic, and the Persian architecture. Now, the blending together of these styles, the two styles, that is the Hindu architecture and Arabic and Persian architectural styles, have led to the emergence of a new distinctive style, that is the Indo-Islamic style. So the Indo-Islamic style is the merging or the fusion or the blending together of the Hindu architecture and the Arabic and Persian architecture. Now, the characteristic feature of Sultanate architecture is the extensive use of bricks, arches, domes, beams, and balconies. Now, you will find these characteristic features in the Sultanate architecture, that is the use of bricks or the building blocks, the arches, the semicircular structure, domes, a semisphere structure, beams, the horizontal structure which is used to support the roof or a ceiling of a building, and the balconies. On the other hand, the Turkish monuments were plain. There was liberal use of floral and geometric design. So they make liberal use of these florals and geometrical figures. The use of red sandstone added color to the buildings. So in order to add color to the buildings, they used these red sandstones. Verses from the Quran were engraved on the walls of some buildings. So you will find in the walls of these monumental structure, there were verses from the holy book of the Muslim, that is the Quran. Some of the important monuments of the Sultanate period are the Qutub Minar complex, Alai Darwaza, the tomb of Ghiyas-Uddin Tughlaq, Firoz Shah Kotla, the Tughlaqabad fort, and the tombs of the Lodi sultans. So this is how an arc-shaped monumental structure looked like. This is a dome-shaped structure. This is a balcony. Now you will find these types of balconies especially in the ancient royal palaces. So these are beams, the horizontal structures which are used to support the roof or the ceiling of a building. And this is the Firoz Shah Kotla, which has both the arc shape and the dome shaped structure. Now, music and dance. North Indian or Hindustani music was the outcome of the fusion of the Perso-Arabic and the Indian classical music styles. New musical instruments such as the tabla, sitar, and sarangi were developed during this time. So the Hindustani music or the North Indian music, it was the result of the combination together of the Perso-Arabic and the Indian classical music styles. Now, new musical instruments such as the tabla, the sitar, and the sarangi were developed during this time. Now, this is the sarangi. It looks like a modern-day violin. This is the tabla, and this is the veena. Now, the famous Persian poet Amir Khusrau is believed to have invented the sitar by combining the South Indian veena with the Persian tanpura. So this is the Persian tanpura. Now the South Indian drum was probably altered to create the tabla. So the tabla was carved out of the South Indian drum. Now the Persian style of chorus singing known as qawwali was popularized by the Sufi saints, a group of Muslim mystics who became popular during this period. Now The qawwali is the Persian style of chorus singing which was popularized by the Sufi saints or the Muslim saints. Now, they sang devotional songs or song of praise at their religious meetings. Now, Kathak, a new dance form that also developed during this time, combines Hindu themes with Persian costumes. So, Kathak is a new dance form which has developed during this time, and it is a combination of both the Hindu themes and the Persian costumes. Now, painting, the early Turkish rulers were not very interested in painting. The Rajput style of miniature painting continued in the Sultanate period as well. So it is said that the Turkish rulers they were not very passionate about painting. Now the Rajput style of painting, that is a miniature painting, continued in the Sultanate period as well. So the miniature painting here, it is a type of painting which was introduced by the Rajput. Now it is a type of painting which depicts a particular scene. Now, the Rajput painters were influenced by the Persian style of miniature paintings, which was patronized by the later sultans, that is the Lodis, and used to illustrate books. So, the Rajput painters they were uh, influenced by the Persian style of this miniature painting. So, the miniature paintings it was a Persian style of painting. So, which was later adopted by the Rajput painters and which was also patronized by the later sultans and used them in illustrations in text in these books or in certain textbooks. So this is how a miniature painting looked like. So in this painting you will see that it depicts a scene of how a girl is dancing and the other are watching. The sultan and the others are watching. So this is a miniature painting. Now, other cultural changes, new customs and practices changed at the traditional lifestyle of the Indians during the Sultanate period. For instance, the Hindus and Muslims wore pajamas, kurtas, kaftans, and salwar kameez and continue doing so to this day. Now, there are various cultural changes in the customs and also in the traditions of the people of India during the Sultanate period. For example, the Hindus and the Muslims they wore these pajama kurtas you will find here in this picture, which is mostly worn by men, salwar kameez by women, and till this day you will find that they are still uh, following this type of tradition. Now, new types of food such as biryani and bread became part of the Indian cuisine. Now, biryani and bread is not of Indian origin. It is believed that biryani was brought to India by the Persian rulers. It is of Persian origin. The Unani system of medicine was a legacy of the Turkish rule and a result of the interaction with the Arab traders. So the Unani system of medicine or medication, it was brought by the Turkish rulers as a result of the interaction with the Arab traders. So when the Turkish rulers married Indian Muslims, they assimilated many of their local cultural traits and gradually became Indianized. So when the Turkish rulers they married the Indian Muslims, they brought together with them their local uh, cultural traits and make them Indians and also make them Indianized. With the passage of time, a social pattern resembling a caste system evolved among the Turks. So, with the passage of time, this caste system, which is a social pattern, it was also evolved among the Turks. Now, Indian Muslims, especially in the rural areas, still follow. Now, the Indian Muslims, especially in the rural areas, still follow many Hindu customs during weddings and other social ceremonies. Now, you will find that the Indian Muslims, especially in the rural areas, they still follow many Hindu customs, and especially during the weddings and also during other social ceremonies. Now, the establishment of the Turkish rule in India led to the replacement of the Sanskrit by the Persian as the official language in many regions. So, the establishment of the Turkish rule in India has led to the replacement of Sanskrit by Persian as the official language in many regions. So, the coming of the Turks in India, they have replaced Sanskrit by Persian and has made it as an official language in many regions. Although the Hindu kings patronized Sanskrit, its days of glory were numbered. So although the Hindu kings they patronize or they value Sanskrit, but it has gradually come to an end with the introduction or the replacement of Persian by the Turkish rulers. So with this, we have come to the end of this chapter, that is life under the Delhi Sultanate. Thank you. So if you have any doubt, do let me know.